Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 2023 Season 2 League of Jackknife Racing F3. And the commentary booth is Bruce as usual. Hello, Bruce.
Hello. Welcome back.
I completely muddled that intro up because I decided to change what I'm about to say 2 seconds before we went live.
So the more that changes, the more that stays the same. Season 4 for us?
It's five in chronological order. But it seems to want to keep going, so it's just easier probably naming it by iRacing seasons.
Yep, so 22 was last year. 23, Season 2, went back for the Jackknife Racing F3 League, coming to you live from Jose Carlos Palace, Autodromo in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, also known as Interlagos, home of some really great races in the F1 calendar, and many Brazilian drivers being disappointed and not getting the results they want in their home race. Most notably, I think Felipe Massa versus Hamilton for the World Championship in the final round of the season. That was a cracking race.
Yeah, I want to say a joke regarding the driver that got in the way, but it's probably not safe for air.
All right, so John, we're back again. F3. What's new this season? So iRacing updated the car, didn't they?
No.
Oh God.
Still no DRS. Still no DRS.
Track at least.
Interlagos is still the same. We do have a new one coming on the schedule, which is Jerez, which is I had to buy today to make a session. So I haven't actually tested it, but I'm looking forward to seeing the races around it. Prestigious.
I did some laps around there, just in the laps. It's nice. I like it. It's got some flow, got some nice straights. Should see some great action in Jerez. Definitely looking forward to that round.
We do have at least we have 5 new drivers and 1 returning, which is Kevin Muller, who you'd know from 2 seasons ago, and then we have 5 other people, including 1 from the Snails Discord. So we've got plenty of new talent in. We've got 22 competitors in here tonight. And actually, speaking of one of the new people, John Macquarie, he is currently leading the line in practice.
Just trying to look, but not by much. So the top 9 are covered by 4/10 of a second. So John's got a 27.2, and this is free practice, of course, not quali, as that runs to an end. And Daniel Nesterovic, the last in the 27s, is in the 27.6, so nothing in it. And our man, Lester Craig, in P10, he did make it. He may not make it right to the end of this session, followed by a newcomer, Ken Russell, in P11. I did make a Kerry Russell, but joke earlier, but you didn't get it because you're too young.
I'm very young compared to your references.
Compared to old farts.
We don't have a lot of new rules actually this season. Everyone's pretty happy with how it's going. We've added a drop week for all the competitors, but they cannot apply during week 10 or 11, just to make sure all the points are nice and consistent.
The season finale will be week 11 on the iRacing season because we can't not broadcast the finale, and people have real life things to go to.
Yeah, I'm on a 2-week bender.
Speaking of real life things, Armando Vasquez has changed his livery to a Toy Story livery, which is interesting, very potato head. I managed to actually get out to a real life race last weekend, got and saw the Gen 3 supercars launched in Newcastle, and reminded me of 2 things. 1, race cars are really loud and exciting at the track, and 2, you can't actually watch the race from the racetrack on a street circuit.
No, you can't.
But it was good to get back out. Good to see that again. But also makes me appreciate how much it is to be able to sit down in a booth and watch the race actually unfold.
So what was quite cool actually when I went to Silverstone for the TCRs is on the actual race day, because obviously being broadcast for live TV, they just put some huge, like 100-inch screens at certain places on the track. So where we were sat, we could just watch the action when it was on the other half of the circuit unfold on a screen, just like being at home on your couch.
Well, they do that as well, except they point the big screens at the grandstands and the really expensive, corporate. So you still can't see it when you're walking around the track.
So
it's not a street.
So that's a joy of not being at the premier motorsport event of your country.
Well, the funny thing is, last time I went to Bathurst, I did pay, and I was in a corporate box. Bought a ticket, like you could buy a ticket and get a corporate box. And what did I do? I spent all day watching the telly. So I'd rather be right at the corner, literally. I think I was half a metre from the exit. So it's literally right in front of you. If the barrier wasn't there, you could literally reach out and get hit by them. So it's good to get out in real life again. And I think finally the pandemic is done. Life is back to normal. Including going into the office, starting up again as well. Not at 5 days a week, of course, because that's only animals would do that. But,
So we're just waiting for our first few laps come in. Vasquez is second on track. I think that's behind Mr. Helmut.
Yep.
Yes, it is. So, but look at that. Amanda Vasquez did have purple sector 2 for a little while. Tom had faster sector 1 and 2, and then Alan Kwan stole number 2 off him. So plenty of it. Alan Kwan is Mr. Lance Stroll this weekend. He did injure himself on a fun week 13 event, going around in circles, very tight circles in LMP2. And he has completely ruined his wrist. So Alan is that event where he ruined his wrist? Yeah. The LMP2 is on a small track with plenty of Mazdas. But Rene is going to be coming over the line very, very soon. Let's actually jump to the grid. We can just see them come across the line, cutting that track. And I'm not going to dox him, but you do know that Alan actually has to use his hands for his day job, so it's probably best not to destroy them. Sim racing. All right, the times are coming in, and Tom Lennox Brown jumps to the top. Oh, no, there goes the Kwan, 27.6. The returning champion basically saying, no, I have not forgotten how to drive this car. Putting up the finish line. Yeah, so Alan Kwan has been number 1 for 2 seasons in a row. Is this a season where someone can dethrone him? It's all going to be working out. Kevin Muller, he's up to 3rd. Rennie Helmut, Colin Byrne up to 6th. Larson up to 7th. So everyone is pushing Henrik Anderson all the way down the order at the moment. Hopefully he can get some more good laps in. Honegger, he goes up to... I've lost him. Oh, he did not successfully complete a lap, actually. Nestorovic, he is up to P5 now, so plenty of quick times going in at the opening 5 minutes. And they do have about 10 litres of fuel, which is good enough for about 10 laps, I think it is here. I know, actually 9 laps here. So they do have plenty of fuel to do it. Vasquez goes purple sector 1, but is shocking in 2, 3 and 4. Rennie, however, going green across the board, his personal bests. And Kenny Larson jumping in with a purple sector 1. Not good enough in sector 2. There's Alan, as you can see, bottom right. This is making up some time as well. So yeah, it's interesting coming back for another season. I think the rules of the league and the format's largely unchanged. So still a heat followed by a feature, a longer double length feature with reverse top 10, if I'm top
correct.
8.
Sorry, top 8.
So only the point scorers of race 1 will get reversed.
So what do I know? It's like I'm not running the series or something. I think the car remains unchanged, the circuit remains unchanged, so that's all to go. We actually now have 40 odd members in the league, so there is the potential that
now.
So there is actually potential that we actually do have a full grid at some point.
As Linda now joins late. I think he becomes car 23.
Yep.
So nice little session we got tonight. Hopefully many of the people survive into race 2. Not that we'll kick them out, just if they're having a particularly bad day at track, they might decide it's not for them, or they might feel unsafe around other people.
Speaking of having a bad day, that is not Alan Kwan, as he goes purple in sector 1, purple in sector 2. He was purple in sector 3 before Renee took it off him. Here he comes.
You got a little bit of a toe there. So Rennie does take pole. Alan Kwan steals it.
It's candy from a baby by 10. So I got nicely towed around. John, do you want to just quickly run down the field? Because we've got a few different liveries. So if viewers are used to watching certain cars on track, things might have changed coming into the start of the season.
Well, nice.
So
And actually, just while you're on the topic, as you can see there, the two Toy Story teammates have different coloured wings and end plates.
Nice.
So we can tell out Vasquez is the yellow of the two, and Alan Kwan being the green of the two. I think Rennie Helmut, they've changed there to an all-green Swede livery car. Lennox Brown,
interesting.
I don't think he's changed. I know he's gone retro.
When we originally envisioned the league, we sort of had the idea of exactly this, teammates running slightly different cars. It's nice to see it's happening organically, to the point where we might actually even consider introducing a teams championship at some point.
So
I think we have enough cars actually.
Nesterovic is Lassie is actually Nesterovic's teammate in paint. There we go, confirmation there.
Very broken car on the side of the road there.
John Macquarie, he's new to the league, getting slightly pushed into the grass. And once you're on grass and iRacing, you're not coming off.
Nope.
Lester Craig still the sole Audi entry. Box room is very much box room as always.
He is.
Henrik Andersen, I think he's still in that Swedish livery.
He is. His own version of it though.
Let me just look around. Everyone keeps moving. Ken Russell is in Amando's old car, actually. So a bit of team trading behind the scenes. So the Jordan has picked up Ken Russell for this season.
I'm dumping Amanda Vasquez because of the too many crashes.
So
I'm joking.
Trevor Evans in the Pride car because it says Trevor on the side, he said to me earlier. Van Duffel, I think, will be in his... he's now turned to the Rebels in hope he can use the Force to get through 1 or 2 races this season.
Can he use the Force to get through turn 1 unscathed?
Langstead in the 3rd race thingy car. Race hall car. So interesting there. Jörn, he is in the... or Jürgen, depending where you're from in Scandiland. He is in his very orange chromed car. Hugh Morris, the Incredible Hulk.
Won't miss that one.
Best livery on the grid, in my opinion. Nice purple and greens there. Mr. Bailey, he's in. That's a Racing Point livery, is it not?
Indeed, OET. Well, it depends on what season with the sponsorship. I think it is the old Racing Point.
And then Lindenau's not on track, but we know he's going to be in a pizza. So there we go. Amando Vasquez, as we finished talking about liveries, he's now moved up to P4. So great lap from him. Lester Craig having a good end to this lap. Let's see what he can do against his personal best.
Did you notice what was going on there with Mr. Kwan and company? Teammates towing each other around. It's happening.
Yeah, I already dropped into their team channel earlier, and he said he was going to do it, and that's the only way he got pole last year. So here we go. Van Duffel, he gets the fastest, and he's up to P16. Scriber's up to 12th. Macquarie currently finds himself in 4th, despite being fastest in practice, but only just over a tenth and a half. So Macquarie's still got plenty to give him short.
So we talked before about Alan taking the candy from the Rene baby. Well, Rene's gone and done the reverse. He's gone 200ths faster than Alan. Take pole at the moment.
Let's see what Mr. Bailey does. As he's going to come across the line, or is he heading into the pits? No, he's not. It's probably a good time not to. There's no Alan favoritism, Salty. We went through your liveries and everything.
Yeah.
So the race hall cars are Ripple Motorsport, I've been told.
Interesting. Well,
Tom Lennox Brown dethrones the helmet.
Yep.
So Tom Lennox Brown, he had a really strong second half of the season last year.
Why are you talking to us, Rene? You've still got 4 minutes. Go and find a drag partner and get towed around the track.
Nesterovic fails to improve. Kenny Lassen, he can't improve. Scriber's not, but Kevin Muller, he is currently on a good sector 2, a better sector 3. As he comes around now through, we are going to go through Junkao.
So Rene doesn't want to go out again, so he looks like he's just parking it for the end of the session.
Through Sabita to boxes. Cutting off as much of the pit lane as iRacing allows before you get off track. Kevin Muller doesn't have a good sector 4 or 5, and it's not a fastest for him, so he will not improve.
Our pit reporter is telling us that the driver of car number 2, in P number 2, the Salty Toad Racing entry, that the car is actually fine, but the driver is claiming mechanical difficulties, so he doesn't have to drive.
I think you've added to Sweet Team.
It is the Sweet Team. Still P2, still very respectable, and you can almost argue which side you'd want to be on here for the start, because being on the outside, so I'm showing poles on the left, not the right. If pole is on the either way,
should be on the inside for turn 1.
It does, but being on the outside, there goes. We watched Lester Craig have an unfortunate half spin and touch the wall. Being on the outside gives you the inside to turn 2. So yeah, 6 one half the other, to be honest. I think.
So Marco Honegger has the Max Verstappen bug, and he is not going to be able to race this weekend.
Yep.
I might have gone to bed after setting 10th fastest time in qualifying. But as we usually find now, apart from Martin Bailey, is people start to just lose the momentum, and start trying to push too hard in qualifying, and now all the times are coming down. Lennox Brown struggling to improve any of his first 4 sectors. Martin Bailey has good 1 and 3. Lennox Brown has jumped to pits, I think. Yes, he has. What's Martin Bailey? Is that going to be an improvement? It is an improvement. Where does it move him? I think it moves him up to P20. Jacob Bonda Larson 16th now. Alan Kwan, he jumped to the pits. Sorry, jumped into the pits. Ken Russell, let's see what he's doing.
Only a minute left to run.
Yeah, so not many people there. Nesterovic getting a little bit of a toe down the start-finish straight. Doesn't improve, though. Box room racing does go quicker with a 128 flat. Hugh Morris improved as well, 128.4. And there's been contact. In qualifying, we need to get them into the steward's room right before we start the race.
Actually, we might need to have a look at that. All checks aside. I'll let them protest, but...
You've got to leave her the space.
Got to leave it the space.
Salty Toad is already slugging off the Toy Story team.
Yep.
Getting the preseason jabs in.
Qualifying draws to a close, and we move into Heat 1. We have Lennox Brown on pole, Kevin Muller in P2. Rene Helmet getting knocked off the front row while he was having an ice cream in P3. Alan Kwan in P4. John McRae, P5. Mando Vasquez Jr. in P6. Kennedy Larson, P7. Daniel Nesterovic, P8. Lester Craig with good effort there in P9. Marco Honegger for Swede Racing in P10. Colin Byrne for Boxer Racing in P11. Benjamin Langsteed in P12 as we roll over the page. Vidica Scriber, P13. Newcomers Ken Russell in P14. Henrik Anderson, P15. Hugh Morris, P16. Jacob Blond Larson, P17. Tom Van Duffel, P18. Trevor Evans, Payne, Bailey, Jorgen and Chris Lindenau in the pizza car, rounding out the 23-car field for the grid. Now, let me just quickly do this. Did the grid go to 3 minutes?
No.
I don't think it did. Hang on.
Auto steward should be turned on. Here we go. Now it's gotten to 3 minutes. You are correct. Get speaking. So Interlagos has a quite, as you can see there from that shot, goes up the hill first before heading down into the centre S's.
If you have an instant you wish to
mute yourself.
Good.
As you head down into the centre S's through covered assault, and then you down that back straight into turn 4 and 5. Then you got Ferradura into the midfield round there into Perahino. Then you've got cut back to a really sharp hairpin of turn 10 through 11, and then to that final hard corner junk out. And then you got a huge acceleration zone all the way to the start finish straight once again, as I'll see if Boots has finished.
I have.
There we go. I've unmuted Bruce. He's allowed to speak again. No, we're not doing a countdown on 20 minutes, Salty Toad.
They're using the 3 minutes to burn the fuel out of the cars.
Yeah, it's got a minute and a half to go.
How long have we got?
A minute and a half.
Not anymore.
We're waiting for Kenny Lassen and Tom Payne to take the grid, apparently.
I just chopped it to 1 minute.
Oh no, Tom Payne's out, Kenny Lassen's out, and that's everyone out. You can probably set them to go.
I have.
I think you could have probably managed that in 2 minutes.
I could have, but
like you said, they do not need the full 20 litres for race 1. But we're looking forward to. I think it's the longest season yet, 11 races. I think we've only done 10 before that. So plenty to go on. And like I said, I do go away on week 12. And I'll be away for 2 Fridays, so that's why we decided to have it changing at week 11. And the lights are coming on. 3, 4, 5, 6. Season 5 starts now, and everyone looks like I can't see how they get off the grid because of how it is. Tom Legs Brown down around the outside, nicely done. Into centre S's, looking up behind. Kevin Muller gets a little bit squirrely, but he's going to survive for now. And that's probably the cleanest start we've seen for a while in such a big pack.
They were definitely 3 wide in the turn 1, John, but they definitely played ball. Are they going to play ball coming down into this corner? I think we're going to see off-track central.
Oh, just avoiding there, Macquarie, just avoiding the sweet car. The sweet car spins, that's Marco Honegger. And I think some issues behind.
Yep, so not a great start to the season for our championship.
You're going to have to get speaking on the radio again.
The pace car is out. Safety car is thrown.
So hopefully everyone will get going nice and early. I don't think anyone actually jumped to the pits, so this should be a quick.
Yeah, we have one. We have to jump to the pits.
So plenty of incidents going on in that first little bit. The pack will get backed up once they catch the safety car, which I hope comes out on this first lap. So it'll be nice if the safety car can manage the way through. Obviously, it's a long pit start, so I can even see where the pace car is.
Yep.
I don't think he's out. Is he out? It's like the worst circuit for it. He is out, so we can...
There he is.
We'll have to complete one complete lap, and then we'll end it.
Yep.
Who's got 4 minutes of towing? Oh, Rene has 4 minutes of towing. So let's see exactly what happened, because that seemed like a bit of a mess on the first lap. That is the wrong incident. Oh my god, there were so many things that went on. Let's see, René Helmut. So René gets down, he did it. Oh, he's caught the back of the Toy Story car. That's P1 and 2 in the championship, both getting caught up actually. So, sorry, P1 and P2 from last year's championship, both getting caught up in the first corner. I think Alan was able to drive round, but he now finds himself at the back. So, very unfortunate for them two to come together. With the sprint race, we cannot really extend it to full 4 minutes of towing.
I'm just going to clear all penalties, John.
Yep, no worries. So I've told them they can pit on this lap.
Yep, all that.
And then we'll just clear flags before we finish the safety car lap.
So we'll go around one more, I think, John, and then end it.
No, we should be able to clear it. We should be able to end it once he crosses the finish line. So yeah, one more.
That's what I mean.
He'll go. Yeah.
I just can't English.
Yeah. So once he gets over the start finish line, we'll take off the lights. Everyone should have enough time to pit for repairs and come straight back out.
Yep.
But Amanda Vasquez, he finds himself in P3. Kevin Muller in P2, so he's had a good return to the league at least. Tom Lennox Brown starting where he'd like to finish, which was P1 for most of the attempts he had for it.
We don't have to unlap, do we?
No, everyone's roughly in order. They're in a reasonable order because only one jumped to the pits. So safety car is coming in this lap. So he'll be in this lap. Everyone else should have enough time to box and jump straight back out. There's actually one of them already coming out.
Sorry, John, do you want to get start finish line or the last corner for the restart?
From the last kink, probably, is where they can go. So everyone just keeping their tyres nice and warm. Looks like everyone is joining the back of the pack now, apart from, sadly, Mr. Helmut, who is not in this first race, which we do not like to see. René is someone we do like to see race.
Do you want to win it, René, wave around?
Is he out with the pits? I mean, if he's quick enough, yes. I think is Tom on a lap down as well? Tom as well.
Is he?
Yeah, Tom as well.
Why is my right not working?
So Tom is not really making his way up the order I was hoping he would do. There he goes. Oh, he's going really slowly. Is it not letting him overtake for some reason?
Who knows? He's choosing not to.
Let's see.
What's René saying?
So Marco's blocking René. So good teamwork there. They are running out of track to overtake. So we will be resuming pretty much now, actually. Lennox Brown should be getting ready to drop back and restart the race for the second time. There goes Rennie. And there goes Tom. And there goes other Tom. I think he's now restarted his lead as well, so we're back racing under green flag conditions. Let's hope everyone gets... Oh, P23 is spun again. Tom Van Duffel is in the wall.
Jesus.
So,
okay, so...
we're back underway. There will be no more safety cars in the sprint race. It looks like that. Amanda Vasquez behind on Kevin Muller. Let's see what these two do going down into turn 4. Someone's off in the background. I think that's... Is that John Macquarie? Yes, it is. John Macquarie going wide. So I think Vasquez touching grass a little bit. He does like that around Interlagos. He was talking to me earlier before the race of that's where the joke started of him loving going on the grass. As we jump now to interval. Now the race is going. Lester Craig, he's looking to improve his position with Langstead ahead of him going through. And that's into turn 10, turn number 10. Dropping down the hill as you come down through into Junkau. Just before pretty much the corners are irrelevant, especially in this car, once you get through here.
So yeah, just to quickly close it. Oh no, Lester. No, that's not how we want things to end. If Lester does an unfortunate incident. And he's disconnected. Yeah, we know Lester was unfortunately not going to make the second race, so he's probably decided to call it after that crash.
So Rennie was accidentally given a black flag by iRacing, so that was cleared. Peter Boy, he is currently racing through in position number 6 with the incredible Hulk car of Hugh Morris behind him. Colin Byrne, he's having a much more successful race at the moment, and he did get caught up in a couple of incidents last season.
Yeah, so a bit of a bizarre situation. I just want to quickly go back to that safety car. So what we had was Michael Honegger, teammate to Salty Toad, not letting him pass in time. And so because they were so slow with the rejoin, it meant the restart got a bit kerfuffled. Also noticed that some of my chat commands are not working as I would like. So I just need to... Oops.
Alan Kwan currently in P12, trying to fight his way back up the field. Let's jump on board with the driver's eye. He has got Tom Payne ahead of him. I thought Tom Payne was out. My iRacing was telling me lies.
Is it Tom Payne or Tom Van Duffel that's out?
No, it's Tom. No, so I meant at the start of the race it said he was out, but he wasn't.
I see what you mean. As we're watching Alan Quine slice his way through the field, getting past box room.
Box room right behind though.
Up there.
So they're going side by side through the long, fast section of this track. Plenty of races have been ruined here.
Many people have cried. Pit entry will be very interesting as well because it's a very fast pit entry when we get to the pit stops in Heat 2. Tom, we're going 3 wide into turn 1. It's not going to... Oh,
that's some great driving, to be fair. Everyone kept the right amount of space between the cars. I am amazed that all went that well, to be fair. But that was a great move by Kenny Lassen.
Yeah, Colin Burns came out the winner of that one. He's got a nice little cap now where it looks like he was under attack going in.
Jacob Larson.
Of the tree there.
Jacob Larson defending from 2 behind. That's Scriber and Russell. But it looks like Jacob Larson is going to do enough. Lennox Brown once again proving superiority. He's got a 1.5 second lead at the moment. And we're on halfway through to lap number 6. Coming up to the back of Rennie Helmut, who's we expect him to be quick enough to stay away from him anyway.
It depends. I think if Rene drops into the draft zone, then he could be in a lot of trouble because the whole pack could then suddenly want to sneak his way past. So Rene needs to keep his eyes front and just try and minimise the damage from this one.
Rennie Helmut, fastest lap of the race.
So there we go.
Tom Lennox Brown steals it immediately. So some good racing out here as we get some really great static shots of the track, especially that start finish line. Looks like it climbs Everest before it heads down towards the center S's.
Yeah, I feel we're being denied a bit of a spectacle here watching Rene, who just pops off track in turn 1, trying to fight his way back through the field, because he's definitely one of the fastest, if not the fastest driver out there. Well, Lennox Brown is the fastest on track, but Rene's definitely got the pace to be right at the point end of this field. As I can see, someone's blinking, which is always distracting as a driver.
Michael Honegger down the inside of 4. Just gives him not Vasquez. That's so not Vasquez anymore.
And Russell definitely was doing my head in as well, if you want to say Vasquez.
But some good racing overall between these two. Linda now, he's looking to make a move on Langstead as well, trying to improve his position up to 5th. Sorry, Chris Linda now, car 26 this season because he was unable to attend quite a few races due to moving. So it's good to see him there, and I'm sure his number will be a lot closer to the front next season.
Those pants look pretty loud, I've got to say, on the pizza boy there. Look, going back to that roll hoop shot, some pretty loud pants going on as he's sitting in the draft. Yeah, see the right leg's looking very loud there inside the cockpit. He's well in the draft.
He's looking to make good moves on Langstead. Langstead as well, he had probably a mixed season last season after joining at Long Beach, but has really found his feet in F3 and has become quicker and quicker each week. Linda now I think he had to lose a bit of speed just to avoid going in the back of Langstead in the first of the center S's, and that did cost him a little bit of time. Colin Byrne, he is on the move. He's going to the inside of the racing point. Are they going to get through nice and safely? Yes, they are, as the racing point has to take an off track, I believe. Oh, I forgot to tell Macquarie how the auto shooting works. But no one's in danger. Anyway, actually one person might be. But he knows already. But there's Pizza and Langstead. Oh, Pizza sends it down the inside, slices him up.
Langstead comes back.
Some great action using the differences on left and right to the advantages here. Performing some great races. Langstead goes very, very wide. He's going to lose a lot of traction trying to get back on the track. And is Linda now going to have enough to get alongside? Yes, he is, and I think he's going to also take the lead. But it's going to be definitely very close down to turn 1, which is a quick left, right, left scenario.
Yeah, that's really going to hurt that one. As Linda now takes the position.
It looks like Kwan.
As expected.
Kwan is making moves up to the front as well, as Kwan went side by side with Hugh Morris. And they're still fighting now, and Henrik Andersen's going to be coming back as they go down the back straight. So plenty of good racing at Interlagos today.
It was very nice of Henrik Andersen to provide us with a camera right through the back of that action, right behind that action, as he looks around moving himself. As we go on board on the roll hoop, we can see Alan just slowly walking away as his way to the front, giving the boys a lesson on how to drive the F3. So Tom Lennox Brown still just not really extending, but not closing that gap. So it's not losing that gap. So sort of maintaining it at around, that's the word I'm after, about a 1.5 second gap over Vasquez. He's still got another 1.5 second gap over Nesterovic behind. Or am I wrong? No, that's right.
So currently Kevin Muller has maintained that gap to Lennox Brown. He has not really increased much, apart from here and there, different strengths in corners. But the one person has tried to get closer is Vasquez, but he's still 1.3 seconds off. And we still do have an amazing battle for that P8 position.
I was going to say, it's all on.
Between Morris, Anderson and Byrne. It looks like Byrne's going to get the toe behind Anderson. Going to go side by side through the S's. Anderson backs off, using that 0x experience.
Yep, so I don't want to jinx Colin, but it looks like he's making moves, heading up towards the front.
Yeah, he's going to be nicely in the toe, but look at that, it's a 4-way fight now for that P8 position, with Lassen joining the fight too. We have had a change. Michael Honegger getting past Tom Payne in the background there.
So I'm just watching this gap between Kwan and Langstead. It's not there yet, but Quan is just eating into that gap. The car in front.
Is there enough to do it in 3 laps though? As Henrik squeezes Lassen onto the grass. But some good side-by-side action between these two.
Sorry, I've got the gaps wrong. It's not. It's the car in front. It's Langstead on Linden now, not Quan on Langstead. But this is definitely the battle to watch. We're watching. So Box has just managed to just walk away from this little battle pack as they continue to fight. So that's definitely working in his favour. Just eyes front and walking away as you watch Anderson come up the inside, going for that run up the hill.
He definitely had the faster line initially, but on going through that final kink, he definitely had to go the long way around. As I thought Lasso was about to go into the back of Morris, but just managed to change his line at the last minute. Just runs a little bit wider, but stays on track.
Yeah, these cars, I think, I haven't looked, but I'm guessing they're running a very low downforce setup to maximise speed on that big, long run into the start-finish straight, which makes them a bit squirrely.
Lassen has a drive-through penalty for exceeding the X limits.
That'll be a bit of a what the going on in that cockpit right now.
Yeah, so let's see here. It's going to be difficult because it is. You are right. It's a fast entry into the pits, but it is a very slow exit out of them pits as well, unless you get the line pinpoint.
So what's also interesting is he'll be flying up that pit lane with a car right up his bum, to be honest, and it'll be interesting to make sure that he doesn't get hit through.
Looks like there's been a crash between Payne and Larson. I think they're related. Looks like as we just see the penalty appear on screen. Tom Payne's in the track. There's nothing he can do. Sorry, that's Marco Honegger in track. There's nothing he could really do. That's unfortunate. But looks like not too much damage was done, thankfully.
This looks like a racing incident.
Actually, Tom Payne unfortunately has a meatball from that incident. So definitely unfortunate for him. Tom Lennox Brown now doing what he did actually. I think at Watkins Glen he maintained the gap for most of the race, and then right on the last few laps just started creeping that gap further and further apart, just to give him that safety buffer. And Scriber now right behind Evans. Scriber, a veteran of the F3 League as well. Let's see what he can do.
So Lassen still hasn't pitted, so I'm assuming he
just taking the time penalty. Might just take the time penalty at the end of the race.
Yeah, it's interesting.
He might feel he's fast. He can gain enough time skipping it rather than driving through it. It is definitely a bold strategy once everything comes on. It sounds like there's a little bit of screeches. It looks like someone spun around. Lassen's off track. He's in danger of a drive-through. Sorry, a stop-go.
Yeah.
So we had a double penalty.
So he's just jumped back to the pits by the look.
Yeah. Hugh Morris, he's getting caught by Anderson. As we head into the white flag lap now, can Anderson find a way past Morris? Or is it going to be just enough for the Incredible Hulk to stay ahead? Is that gap? Muller's closed that gap a little bit, but it's not going to be enough unless Lennox Brown makes a huge error into the final few corners.
Not on the bottom of this shot. Anderson makes the move, makes it stick.
He goes off track, which should be referred to the steward's room. But no, it looks like overall, I think he had the pace to get past. It's a shame so many people are in the pits with damage. Vinicius Scriber, he's looking to improve his position as well, as we're about to hit the final corner of the race. And Tom Lennox Brown comes home in P1, Kevin Mueller P2, and that is the Toy Story car of Vasquez in P3. and car 4 is P4. So some good choices by the ordering there.
Then Daylight back to Chris Lindenau. Great effort finishing P5 for Langstead and Kwan. A good recovery there. Back to P7. Followed by Byrne, Anderson, Morris, Early, Schreiber, etc. Alright, so we have Linux Brown, Mola, and Vasquez. Who would you like me to pluck? Because I can just grab them. Let's let them finish first, I suppose.
Just don't drag them all out. Actually, Alan has to stay in there. Otherwise, you'll kill the room that they're in.
Alan doesn't need to go.
Just bring in P3, Mr. Vasquez.
Let's grab him. I'll beat him to the... Do I bring... let's just chance it. Armando.
Oh, hello.
Just plucked you from your team chat.
Right as I click green room, but what's going on?
I was just wondering, is he going to be saying something mid profanity or something? Just like roll the dice. So it looks like the Toy Story is lucky for some and not for others.
Yeah, well, I almost say lucky for both of us because Alan was able to get back to P7, which will give him a good grid spot for the feature race. So I think we're looking pretty good.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a good recovery drive from Mr. Kwan. So, quick question. So, how, qualifying looked like you were definitely doing a bit of the track toe. How did that feel? Did it actually? Do you think that strategy worked, or you would have been better off running solo?
I think it worked at times. We just haven't practiced it. That was the first time just giving it a go. So I think if we can just do a little more practice, then I think we can make it work a lot better. But
so Mr. Lennox Brown seemed pretty fast out in front. Have you got anything left in the tank to take it to him in race 2?
I have a couple more tenths, but I think at that point I'm risking binning it. So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully I can pluck my way through the field a little quicker because he's a couple spots behind me. But we'll see.
See how we go. Thanks, Armando. I'll pop you back. I'm going to put you back in your own channel. There you go. Look at that. I'm going to bring in Mr. Muller. Kevin, P2 for the first hit out, and it's for 2023 season 2. How did that feel from your seat?
Stressful. I honestly didn't train very much. I drove the track when it was in the officials a while ago, but since then I didn't really drive it, so I was kind of not very ambitious going into the race. But yeah, it was an awesome race. Kept it clean. And yeah,
so I would almost say don't drive more because it's whatever you're doing, it seems to be working for you.
Yes, I think it's just the experience with the Formula 3 that's coming in handy.
Well, reverse grid for the next one. So we wish you luck. Hopefully you'll have enough to take it to Tom and maybe go one step better.
Yeah, I mean, he's rapid.
Thanks, Kevin. I'll give you back. First race out, first win, Tom. Were you playing with them a little bit, or were you pushing hard right to the end?
I was pushing, if I'm honest. Whoever Kevin is, he is very fast, and I was only eking out 10th here and a 10th there until I made a mistake on the end of lap 12 and then brought it back into within nearly slipstream range. So I was a bit worried on the last lap, but managed to keep just enough of a gap.
Yeah, I think if the F3 did have DRS, you may have been you were just out of the range, but it would have made it much more interesting, I think. Unfortunately, Mr. Kwan had a bit of an oopsie in that one, but that'll put him in a good position for the next one. So let's see how things turn out in the next one. Should be quite interesting, I feel.
Yes, it's there are a lot of opportunities to pass here, which is nice. Yeah, we'll see. But there's some very fast people who seem to have joined recently, so should be interesting.
And we've got good numbers. Very happy with that. All right, Tom, we'll let you get back. Good luck for the second one, and we may not see you here again after the next race.
All right, cheers, guys.
See ya. There we go. Interview's done, and the warm up is not even almost complete.
No, we still got a minute left of that warm-up. Macquarie went on track just to try and get his eye back in. Hopefully he will continue to race. He's going back out just to do a bit more. Yeah, so anyone watching at home that missed the intro, only the top 8 will be reversed because they are the point scorers. We cannot show you a grid because iRacing doesn't tell us the grid until the session officially starts. So we cannot show a grid right now, unfortunately.
Which is really helpful. Or not. Although we can sort of guess. Can we guess?
No, I don't have... I mean, if I bring up the results, you can reverse the top 8 if you want.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I couldn't until someone put the overlay up on top of me. And I can look at that. So it looks like, based on this, if it's top 8, it looks like our friend Hendrik Anderson has missed out. It looks like it'll be Colin Byrne on pole. This is all obviously subject to change based on the gods of iRacing. Quan joining on the front row in P7. Langstead and Lindenau will be on row 2. Mr. Richard Vasquez on row 3. Muller and Lennox Brown on row 4 as the checkered flag comes out on the warm-up. And we move to there. So Mr. Anderson missing out by 1 from their reverse grid joy as we move into the lead. And yes, we can now confirm, thanks to iRacing, exactly what we just said. Burn on pole, Kwan, Langstone, Lindenau, Nesterovich, Vasquez, Muller, Lennox Brown. Moving down the field, we've got Anderson from Morris, Bailey from Scriber in P12 as we roll over to the next page. Vinny Scriber drops from packet loss. We've got Russell Blonde, rig shop helmet. I think I missed out Evan Dan Honegger in P14. Tom Payne, Kenny Lassen, John McCraig, Lester Craig, and Tom Van Doffel rounding out the 23.
Yep, so just now waiting for everyone to join the grid. Colin Bird on pole, so that's not grid. This is grid. There will be a full HD version of this race uploaded on YouTube tomorrow, so don't forget to subscribe to the Jackknife Racing YouTube if you want to see that and glorious HD. But here we go, lights are coming on, cars are missing, Scriber's not on the grid. Payne, Lassett and Craig, or knew Craig wasn't coming on the grid, but lights are off now, and so are the competitors. And let's see how Colin Byrne deals with the pressure of Mr. Kwan. We call him Mr. Buzz Lightyear for this one because he's going to fly it down the inside. Look at that, 3 wide again, both of the Ripple Motorsport cars going side by side. Hopefully we don't have any murder. I've covered my event screen, but everything looks good at the moment. Let's jump onto some nice static shots of that long straight, which is nice to see. Look at that, 3 wide in double rows. This is not NASCAR going into turn 4. It looks like everyone takes a little bit of an off track. Vasquez, he's one of them. He's recognizable now, so he can no longer get away with murder. But so many elevation changes at Interlagos. It's actually quite... you don't see it that much on TV. You definitely see... Macquarie's had another incident.
Yes, you said you're right. We can see Vasquez. We can see Vasquez tumbling down the order. Then instead of dropping him down to P15, let's have a look, jump on board the replay.
So I'm trying to see where it actually started because I'm not 100% sure. Oh, Vasquez sends it down the inside and causes 3 cars to get messed up. Let's have both of them reversing in synchronarity.
Reversing.
But looks like they both get going without causing any more issues. Vasquez, you naughty, naughty boy. So we jump back to live.
I think there's a bit of netcode involved there.
Nesterovich fighting with Kevin Muller through the center S's. Just back to the thought I was saying, you don't really see on TV the elevation changes apart from the famous center S's on this track, but getting some nice trackside shots where you can see just how up and down the Sao Paulo track is.
Yeah, well, it's built on the side of a hill, so it's definitely not flat, that's for sure. And I think elevation change makes tracks really nice. Once again, we've got...
what happened to Rene?
He's in the pit. What's going on?
So Rene going down the inside, someone locked up. That's unfortunate.
Yep.
Good news already. Drop weeks exist. A drop week exists now, so. Yeah, but Colin Byrne here is now down to P3, being overtaken by Chris Linden out. Alan Quad already got a 2.4 second lead at the front, so lots to do for Lennox Brown, who is catching Nestorovic. And he's going to try and go around the outside as they go through the final two corners into 15 now, the famous one where you cut right across the pit entry line, and this is going side by side to the wall and possibly side by side to the line, with Honegger joining the fight. But look at that, Tom Lennox Brown showing why he was P1 in race 1, sending it around the outside, holding the pace, but not too much though, because looks like Larsson's fighting back. Marco jumps to the inside, and we have a 2 wide going down to turn 4.
I was going to say, while we're watching that battle go on, there's another battle happening out front with Chris Linden now taking P2 from Colin Byrne. I think that happened going down into turn 1.
I'm just going to have a quick look. So let's have a quick look at the schedule while these drivers are on track battling hard. We got Canadian Motorsport Park next week, and then we got Hockenheim, Jerez, Magny-Cours, Brands Hatch, Hungaroring, Donington National, Imola, Twin Ring, MotoG, and Rudskogen to finish the season. So a few races that appeared last season. I'd have actually loved to have seen Belle Isle on the register, but it was overwritten by Jerez.
We can always delete Roscoe and replace it with Bell for the finale.
Look at this.
Take the balls in the
Box room racing under pressure from Kevin Muller as they head down to the CNRSs once again. Box keeps it in there. If they made contact, the FIA would have said it was Kevin's fault, but he spun anyway. Coming out of the S's.
Box not giving up without a fight, coming out the victor in that one, just like holding it side by side, forcing the car the long way around. We jump back on Mano Vasquez in P14.
Have you gone quiet normally, or is it me? It was me. Carry on.
Lovely Discord. I was watching Vasquez make that move on Jürgen Rudrup down the inside. Nice, clean. Not even an off-track in sight.
Yeah, so I think we're going to have a lot of work to do in the steward's room on Wednesday. That's all I'm saying. Because there's been quite a few incidents. As Daniel Nestorovic found himself behind the box room racing. These two know each other quite well, always hanging around in that other Discord. I say other Discord like I'm trying not to promote them, but that was not my intention.
We wouldn't want to promote that Discord because it's just smelly, steamy, stinky box.
But like, it's a great 3-way battle for P4 now, especially down the start finish straight. Box has nowhere to go, trying to overtake Nestorovic. Nestorovic very much on the inside as they go almost 3 wide through, and that's Lennox Brown, who's going to try and carve away, but he can't find a space as they almost come to blows. All 3 of them were almost in a F3 sandwich.
How's this not going to end in tears, honestly? We've got this battle going on, but meanwhile we've got Lennox Brown just sitting there, just waiting to find a way past.
This is not going to end in tears because they're all great racers who respect the space.
Can I take that bet? I hope you're right. I hope I'm wrong, but races being races, all Colin thinks about it before he chocks on the brakes.
It's actually a difficult corner, that one, because you've got so much speed, and then it seems like it's not as tight as it is, and then it's like it's not quite double braking, but it's almost like you have to brake, rotate, and brake again.
There's definitely some corners on Interlagos that I don't like, particularly the little infield section. But I don't know what you would change. Like, I really like the sort of the first third of the circuit. I think it's amazing.
I don't think you can change Interlagos. It's an institution. It's
No,
like
what I mean is, if you were designing from scratch, what would you change? I don't think you could change much, to be honest. Given the location, I think the track just is the natural flow that fits on the landscape. I just think, maybe if they did an alternate layout which took out that extra loop, but I think it would destroy the character of the circuit. So, looks like situation normal. They're just holding position. Lap 6 of 26, still not inside the window.
So Bailey looking to get up the inside of Kevin Muller, but actually Kevin Muller I think has just carved his way through. But Bailey is going to have competition from his friends behind. That is Russell and Evans with Vasquez in the distance. So things have gone wrong for some people. He makes a move. What a send! Almost come together as someone's gone off. Someone's spun.
Alex Brown.
No, not Tom. Not Tom. That's why you get when he doesn't bring his cheerleaders, makes mistakes. So he goes down the inside of box. You were talking about the tears. He just netcodes the front wheel, I think. It's very unfortunate, but I think he will live to fight another day.
Bruce 1, Jackknife 0. Not that we're keeping score, except that we are.
All I'm saying is you got to leave the space.
You do have to leave it a space.
I need to go back to live.
Okay. I was going to say we're watching Honegger on.
We still are. We're just going to do it live now.
That has to battle. Honegger's going to have a look on the inside. And then has to hold that line, having made his choice.
But he's going to get the run because Marco overcommitted down the inside, went very wide, and just lost the momentum that is very crucial to the S's, especially with such a long straight following it.
It's very easy to send it deep, as we saw there in that corner, but it's not so easy to get it through. It's a very tricky sort of line. Because you're going from such a high speed section of the track, slowing down with little to no downforce on the car, so it's very easy to lock going in, and you really have to do that late turn in an apex correctly to get the exit on the next corner. So it's quite a tricky corner that as we watch Vasquez on Vasquez. This is what I was after. I wanted some Vasquez on Vasquez action.
Well, it was almost Vasquez on fast crash action.
Yeah.
But he managed to get through nice and easy through the inside. He's now caught.
Vasquez following his own livery.
He's catching the two cars ahead of him now. Very, very close to Russell and Bailey. So let's see what Vasquez can do. Can he manage to salvage some more points? He's currently one step outside the points, but I reckon he's probably got the pace to get further up. Lennox Brown, he is also catching up, trying to get some points as well. Obviously race 2, that's where the points are at. But carving yourself through a field is not always going to be as easy as it is at Interlagos, because not all the tracks in iRacing allow for overtaking. I'm quite worried about Mosport next week because that is such a risky track. It's got some nice flow to it, but you can also easily just end up in the Netherrealm.
So I'm actually hearing a bit of chatter between Tom and Colin, as Tom's apologising for that contact.
That's what we like to see.
With Colin responding that he didn't want it to be the one that took Tom out, so it's good to see a bit of friendly banter between the competitors, as opposed to the usual salt we hear in iRacing on the officials. So we watch Linda now just locking that right rear as he continues to follow who we're watching. Armando trying to make the move.
Almost taking out his old team.
On Russell.
Vasquez going to hold that inside the whole way. Very, very unsure under braking there. Like front end of the car was twitching heavily.
Yeah, it was, but that said, even though there was no contact, so it was almost a bit of a textbook move. And what I mean by that is setting it up a few corners before, planning the move, positioning the car, and then 2 corners later getting the job done.
Yeah, as we just see Tom Brown sieve through the inside of Bailey. And he's now only 1 position away from the more points. Alan Kwan, though, he's at the front where the points really do matter. This is a great great save from race 1, where he has already apologised to the drivers for making the mistake that caused it all. Lindenau and Honegger still going. We could have a Lindenau on the podium, which would be nice to see. Nestorovic 1.8 seconds behind them. Oh, I can just now see the Ripple Motorsport on the side of the car. Say what team they're in.
So I'm just thinking about the pits and the pit strategy. No one's gone in yet. I'm guessing the window will be open shortly if it isn't already.
Between 10 and 7, well, probably between 9 and 18, because I give them I round the fuel up.
So we're on lap 9, so that means we'll be definitely coming into that window now. So let's see what the strategy looks like. So I'm just looking at this track map, John, over to the right here. We've got a healthy gap from Kwan back to P2, P3, with Honegger and Lindenau entrenched in this battle for that those 2 podium places. Nestorovic sort of just in a watching brief in P4, then a fair gap back to Byrne in P5, and then another stonking battle between Anderson and Muller in P6, as we can see that now. So we've got a few gaps opening up. Sort of, you would definitely have to say that Kwan now has a comfortable lead of 7 seconds.
It's Tom Payne heading down towards turn 4. I think he just maybe locks the rears, gets unstable on the curbs, and that is unfortunately a spin for him.
Wearing the jackknife colours, I see, on that livery. I think it's pretty funny, that rear wing. Join us on Instagram, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay, how? I can't really pick that up as the car drives past. It's quite interesting. So this is definitely one of the battles to watch on track. As we're watching Anderson drifting out to, I think Mr. Anderson's just made a mistake then as I'm watching the interval just drift out from half a second to 7 tenths, now 8 tenths, so he's definitely dropping behind as we jump on board with Trevor Evans. So Evans in P12, right behind the back of Martin Bailey, and the Racing Point livery in front.
Tom Duffel in the Rebel Alliance colours. He is looking to make some moves as well, trying to move up the field from P13. It's good to see Tom's having a bit of a better race this time. It was hard to get worse, to be fair, but it's nice to see him get some track time in the F3. Alan Kwan, like you say earlier, is just pulling away ridiculously.
Yeah, so Tom Payne's the first to blink, but by the looks of it, jumping in the pits. Either that or he's in with some damage.
Tom Payne is in the pits.
Very long stop. I think he's in the pits with some damage and out of the car. So that's unfortunate. So no actual regular stops yet. Bit of a hard one this one. We've got 5 runners.
Oh, Trevor! Trevor's just had a little bit of a spin through the first of the S's. He's managed to keep it out of the wall, thankfully. Does manage to get it going again, but it's going to cut another huge gap, and now Jörn and Vasquez Jr. is coming. Vasquez did pit on lap 9. I don't know if you saw it. I certainly didn't, but he's pitted on lap 9, so he's probably in the window. It's going to be interesting to see how he manages the fuel, though, as looks like Jörn goes wide. Thankfully that grass doesn't go on forever, otherwise he'd be in the wall as well. Van Duffel right behind Bailey locks up. That's a lot of smoke, tire smoke there from Mr. Van Duffel.
So we need to have a chat to Tom about having too much matte on his livery. He's supposed to have some light, not have the sun go there, the light go there to die.
He's so anti-matte.
No, I'm very pro matte, but it's got to be the right amount of matte. What I'm pro matte, not my car is been rubbed up with 80 grit sandpaper.
I'm pretty sure Tom didn't make delivery.
I'm pretty sure he didn't either. But no, it's just you can't have the matte 100%.
You can, I do.
You can't.
Can't. I want it like my insides, completely black.
So what's interesting is I put some matte on the white on the new livery. So that looks interesting actually. Just takes a little bit of the shine off, and then you put a clear coat on top of the matte. Makes things quite interesting. So waiting for all this pit action. Not really seeing much
Oh,
at this stage.
I didn't have the pit lane times on, that's why we don't show it. Marco Honegger starting to pull away from Lindenau now, almost up to a second. And Nesterovic has brought that gap down another second between him and Lindenau. So it's going to be interesting to see, does Nesterovic have the pace to close to the rest of them?
So I'm just looking at this gap between our leader, Kwan, and Honegger. It's still hovering around that 7 seconds. So I'm going to come in. No, he's not. I think he'll probably just let it run.
It's not what I
You
wanted.
can see some of the delta there.
No, it's
Comparison of Allen versus Ringtrup in front. And Honegger behind. So Allen's just getting that little bit of an extra run, better run out of that final corner, giving him a little bit more top speed. Nothing in it really.
No, but when it's on such a crucial corner, it's so difficult to lose even a tenth of speed, because you just lose it for the whole straight as Lassen is in the pits.
Yep.
One driver is close to a drive-through, I can tell you now.
Yep.
Now Vasquez, he's trying to make his way back up the field after pitting. We have had Langstead who pitted on lap 2. Jacob Larson pitted on lap 12 and is ahead of Vasquez. So that's good for he's done well there. Jacob, he's up 4 positions from the beginning, and Vasquez down 8.
So as we reach the halfway point and some people start jumping in and out with netcode, Mr. Vasquez bouncing around. If you're at that point of being very close to getting a drive-through, you'll be very hard to not pick one up for the rest of the race. I definitely think we'll see that come into effect.
He's pulled one incident back, to be fair. You only have to stay clean for 3 minutes. What's so hard about that around Interlagos? It's only two. It's only 2 laps of Interlagos.
Turn 3. Turn 3 is very easy to get the accidental off track. If you don't deliberately, it tricks you into wanting to go deeper and deeper and deeper. And with a double left-hander, there's a lot of time to be made. As we're on board Tom Van Duffel as he races in the pits. Now watch this entry up to the line.
Locks up. Let's go and have a look at how much he locked up, if we can get a good shot. But you see lots of tyre smoke there from Tom Wonderful.
And meanwhile, there's a pass happening between Evans and Vasquez on track as we were watching that pit entry alongside. Van Duffel just leaving the pits now. So he was in the pits for about, on my count, about 22 seconds. Seems like a very long pit stop for Tom there.
No, 26 in the pit lane, 5 seconds in the box.
Oh, that makes sense then. Good. Okay, so the question then is, so I was thinking it was box time, and I'm looking at, you're right, I'm looking at pit entry and exit time. The question in my mind though is, did he take tyres or not? I'm guessing not, given that this track has such long straights to let the tyres recover and cool down. Tyre wear's probably not being a major factor.
No, especially in the overcast conditions. Let's see what the current weather temperature is. Only 22 degrees on track, so plenty of temperature there to keep the tyres intact. As Anderson comes in the pits now, there's Colin Byrne is just, I think he was just overtaken actually by Vinicius. Is that, or is that Kevin? No,
That's Kevin.
Kevin.
They were just side by side down the last straight, so he's definitely not giving up without a fight.
Kevin expertly manoeuvres that car on the inside, gives Colin just enough room on the outside, but that just limits his exit speed just that little bit enough to get away. And Colin Byrne now down in a P6, but still a pretty good race for Colin at the moment. I know he started on pole, but compared to some of the regular F3 drivers, both here in the league and on iRacing, Colin Byrne is doing a fantastic job being in P6.
If you want to watch his on-board POV after the broadcast, feel free to go watch the VOD on his Twitch channel. One of the few drivers that are streaming this race.
I think Nestorovic does as well, because we normally drag him out of chat when he's saying some things bad about us.
Of course he is. So watching Jorgen rig drop.
Yes, can Jürgen hold off Van Duffel much longer? Tom is doing a fantastic job getting close, getting to the back of that car. Let's go roll hoop for maximum FOV.
Maximum Matt. So I'm just looking at the livery of Jorgen's car ahead. There's so much detail in the gold trim as well as in the small signage on the end plates.
And now Tom should have a great run up the start-finish straight. Tom's already come in, Jürgen hasn't, so this could be a messy if Jürgen wants to come in now. No, he's not. He's going to stay on the outside of the track because he knows Tom Van Der Poel. Why is he coming back in? He doesn't have a flag. Sorry, he's not. Very, very tight line. I looked away at the wrong time to see if he had a black flag. And he does sail indeed through the inside through the first of the S's, and looking good for him. Morris is in the pits. He's come out. I think this might be his first iRacing pit stop ever, because he wasn't too sure how to refuel. So there he goes. He's not on fire, so it's at least a good start. It's better than some of the Ferrari pit stops in the 90s.
But can he make it to the end? So yeah, Hugh is someone who's new to iRacing, coming across from doing a lot of time at ACC. So trying to get his head around all the little intricacies of things like spotters and auto fueling and or manual fueling, depending on how you do it. It's great to see him joining the league. Not sure about that purple on that livery though.
No, it's great.
So meanwhile, Alan Kwan continues to lead.
Dominate.
The gap has come back by about 7.
You are correct, yes. Also, Nestorovic has only pulled out another 3/10 over Lindenau at the moment as well, in about the last, probably about 7 laps. So that gap, we can probably do a complete lap history for the last 7 laps. Let's see how this breaks the overlay. I know that's the wrong one. Time delta.
Close, but no banana.
What? There we go, there's the gap. So on lap 10 it was indeed 2.1, and it's only down to 1.6 now. So Nestorovic not doing a lot. Lindenau is doing a lot, considering he's only in a couple of laps, a couple of races last season. He's good so far, and he's going to come into the pits as well. And crucially, is Nestorovic going to try and stay out? No, he's not. Oh no, Vasquez's computer crashed and he is out.
They all, oh Jesus, they all in the lane. So I'm guessing this is the end of the fuel window.
Yeah,
it's
lap 18.
Unless you're a fuel-saving genius, it's probably this lap and no further.
Honegger followed by Lindenau coming out the pits.
Everyone's coming in. It hasn't come in before. So from P1 to P8, it's jumping in the lane.
It looks like Kwan gained some time in the pit lane as well. That gap is back north of 7 seconds. Lindenau has 2 seconds to Honegger, but Nestorovic has lost about 2 seconds as well in the pit lane. So Lindenau looking really good for him at the moment.
It looks like that early stop and that undercut. Assume Henrik Anderson's. Oh no.
Oh, box.
Oh, Tom.
No, it was box.
No, I know, but Box and Tom. This is the second time they've come together. So poor old Tom innocently coming around. Box just lips it and.
Eat.
All right. I don't think we need to take that one to the steward's room. I think we know the result.
Does that count as retaliation or not?
No. They're both in the pit. That's just bad luck for Box.
He was doing so well. We were cheering him on in the top 10, and we were hoping he was going to have a good finish. But iRacing giveth, iRacing taketh away. You don't get that in F1, that's all I'm saying.
that was just unfortunate. That was.
But now there's no battles going on track because everyone has decided to spread out in their pit stops. But we did have, I'm trying to count now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people came on the end of lap 17. So it was definitely the end of the window. Did I predict it right? Yep. Yes, I did. Go me.
So here's the thing. I just want to point out, Mr. Anderson, the undercut worked a treat. He picked up about 6 spots. Or not 6 spots. Well, I don't know how many actual on-track places he picked up. But he's now running in P6. I wish I could jump back and have a look at the lap history. But I'm guessing that earlier stop worked well in his favour by the looks.
You know what else Mr. Anderson is? He's currently 0x.
Not by my count.
And the driver that was in danger earlier has ticked another one down, so that's good for him.
Yep. So it's good that he's back to his old ways. It seems to be paying off. Slow and steady.
Ah, Henrik! Don't kill Jacob. You're going to start an all-out Scandinavian war.
We've done it now. We were talking about him and he's listening to us on stream. We've made it happen. And yep. Sorry, dude.
Stop looking in your mirrors.
Well, there's a massive battle going on behind him.
As Langsted slides down the inside of Russell. And then Russell's going to try and come back. Going down the start-finish straight. He's going to have the toe, but is Langsted just going to have the wits to get through?
Eyes front, Mr. Anderson, eyes front.
That looks like good battle going on now, actually. Now he's come out the pits together. And Russell is going to be in the tow again, but look at that. Immediately some weaving from Langsted. That's not too much weaving. We'll allow it.
Yeah, just hang on to this. Just give a watch for a second if that any more of that happens, because he could have just been, I don't know, grabbing a drink or a coffee or a smoke or who knows in the cockpit. If it continues doing it, it's something we'll need to look at. So watching the off tracks just slowly get racked up by the drivers as I'm guessing as they go through turn 3.
Turn 4.
That is still in the pits with a meatball.
Yep, he had a big hit.
Yeah, he did.
Box room racing. Is he back out of the pits? Is he back racing? Yes, he is. It's good to see him back out.
So I did wonder, did Tom not turn his fast repair on, or did he already use it?
Did Tom have a fast repair? Use his fast repair when he pitted with the contact with Colin, maybe earlier, and then come out of the pits and smash his car up instantly.
So yeah, maybe he used it in the pit lane. Maybe he had the I think that's one of the tricks with iRacing. If your fast repair is selected
automatically,
if you have the auto fast repair turn on, you will use it when you stop, whether you need it or not. So if you want to save it, you can't have that feature turn on. As we go on board with Benjamin Langsted, watching all over the back of Henrik Anderson. Also known as the other Henrik.
He is the other Henrik. Some would say the cleaner Henrik of the two.
Yep.
Yeah, so Tom did use his fast repair on the first stop. It's been said.
Definitely the more attractive Henrik. Our Swedish male model.
Plus, he built his own caravan, but he wouldn't let me. He wouldn't put a sim rig on so he can race on the travels. Put a satellite dish on the roof. What else do you need?
Yeah.
Get some
power.
Get some Starlink. you can get VW bus like generators that power enough.
Are you saying a VW bus generator in addition to the car?
No, so it'd be like a 20th century generator in the bus.
all I'm saying is if what's his name? Who's the current Formula 1 champion at the moment? If Max Verstappen can put a rig in his plane, then come on, what's a rig in a can? What's a rig in a van? Is there a van life simulator yet? There surely there'd have to be one coming, right? You got American Truck Sim. You could be in your van in your simulator playing van life simulator. Be very meta. Anyway, as we stop talking shit and go back to the race, it's not Armando Vasquez following. It's also known as Ken Russell following Henrik Anderson for P8 and P9. It's another battle just behind this evolving between Trevor Evans and Hugh Morris.
Yeah, Evans is definitely trying to get under the back of his friend's Purple Hulk car, and is he going to have enough time to do it, or is he going to have enough bravery to send it down the inside? That's going to be the difference between making some good safe passes and just seeing the back of that F3 car for the rest of his race. Russell, he's very close to the back of Henrik Anderson. I thought Langstead was behind Anderson. Langstead got through. We must have been watching that, and I was dealing with some F3 chat elsewhere.
Here we go. We're watching.
It's a good move.
Russell
holds the inside. That's good.
It's clean. It's mean. That's pretty much a textbook pass through the turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 complex. Anderson tries to come back. He lifts slightly, so he thinks better of it. I think that's where it gets interesting, right? In some of the official races, some people go, well, no, I've got to run, therefore I will be not lifting and I will be trying to send it no matter what.
Yeah.
It's the more experienced wise head is the one that lifts. Puts the pressure on. 3 laps to go in this opening heat. So, I was going to say there is a bit of an evolving situation at the front, but there really isn't. So the pace is really...
The time's come down.
So Kwan's now dropped down into a 28.1, which is what I was keeping an eye on. So Honegger's definitely closing in as he just pops off track. The thing is, though, that that gap is still 5.2 seconds with 2 laps left to run. So there is... If Alan makes a mistake, he'll definitely let that close up, but that gap is just falling like a rock at the moment. It comes back up again. So Honegger's definitely closing in on Kwan. He's definitely faster on track. Quite significantly, actually, by almost half a second a lap, but there's still plenty of laps to go.
So Nestorovic gets past Mimula. I was just wondering what was happening there as Tom Muller. Oh, so Nestorovic goes wide. Managed to keep the car pointing forwards at least, but Muller does send it through. Managed to get it through nice and safely. And Lindenau now has a 4-second gap with just over 2 laps to go. So we currently have Kwan, Honegger, Lindenau, and then Muller and Nestorovic. Speaking of Muller, where is Moller?
So on that car, why does my brain think that badge is Sim Racing Cheeseburger? I know it's not. Why would it be Sim Racing Cheeseburger? It's Sim Racing something. So my brain's craving breakfast at the moment.
Are you talking about Kevin's car?
Yeah. This is the blue badge on the side. Oh, you won't see it from that shot. It's on the side of the tub. Yeah, you can sort of see it there in front. It says Sim Racing something. But lap 25. So 2 to go for our leader. That gap is now down to 4.4.
Yeah, so Kwan is losing time, maybe just relaxing a bit, trying to keep as much life in the tyres as possible. Jacob Larson had an issue on the previous lap as well, so unfortunate for him.
So this is definitely the battle to watch on track with Morris and Evans going at it.
We have no Brazilian gopher camp. What do we do?
Yep. It's not really a gopher camp.
Well, that changed like so quickly. They were like And Trevor was behind Hugh going into the beginning of the start-finish straight, and the next camera they were side by side, and then Trevor was sailing down the inside through the center S's, and the white flag is out, so we are now on the white flag. So top 5 cars are on the final lap at the moment.
Yep, Quine's come across. He's just coming down the back straight into turn 5, I think. So the gap down to 4 seconds, which Alan will just managing it as we pick up the leader.
Yeah, might as well see Alan a little bit this weekend. That wasn't sideways on the track at the beginning of race 1.
Some would say almost a textbook recovery after that incident in race 1. Leading the way for Team Woody.
You should not say that on a live broadcast.
Well, okay, Team Buzz. Get your mind out of the gutter.
No.
It's all about context. It's a child's toy. It's Tom Hanks, for God's sake. What can be more wholesome than Tom Hanks? As we go to the static shoot at the start-finish line to watch Alan Quine come across the start-finish line to take the win in the feature race of Heat 1 of the Jackraft Racing TV F3 Championship at Interlagos. Pizza Boy makes his delivery in P3 with Marco Honegger in P2, rounding out the podium.
Yep, so great races from them 3 there. Kevin Muller also had a good recovery. I think he had a bit of issues at the beginning. Nesarovic didn't finish his warm-up lap, so he's disqualified. No, he's not. Langstead, he has also possibly jumped. No, he's not jumped to the pits. Just iRacing defaults to scenic for no reason whatsoever when the car disappears off track.
Because it's iRacing.
Henrik Anderson, he's going to come across as lucky number 7. He's doing twice as good as his number says on the front. Ken Russell, he's going to finish his first race in the Jackraft Racing.tv Formula 3 Championship. Tom Verduffel in the points. I think that's one more point than... Oh, he's got more points now in one race than he did in the whole of last season. So Tom's off to a good start. There we go. Trevor's going to come across the line now as well. Going up the hill, followed by his friends Hugh Morris and Martin Bailey. He is going to be the slower of the new 4. With Rick Trupp, what is this? Is a lap down, so he's already crossed the line, and so has Colin Byrne. So your final standings, and Bruce can get away with the murder.
You can. I'm just waiting for...
They're all in there.
Pizza Boy to arrive. The delivery has arrived. I will bring him in. I was just waiting for the pizza delivery to arrive in the green room. Chris, great result, P3. How did that feel on your first race back for the season?
Honestly, it feels like a win. Like the skill has increased so much in this league in the past 2 seasons or so. Keeping up with these 4 to 5K drivers feels absolutely amazing. It's basically a win for me. I never thought I would ever get a podium with the field we have.
Look, you should be definitely very happy with that result. A great way to kick off your season. And yeah, you're right. The boys at the front, they're not slow. Particularly, there's a bit of bad luck for Tom to come a cropper. We didn't see him carve to the field, but Alan, Marco, Kevin, and even Daniel, they're very quick boys. But they didn't give it to you. You definitely earned it. So congrats on that. We'll see you back here next week, Chris.
Thank you.
Marco, you're on mute. Nope, we don't have a Marco. We sort of do, we sort of don't.
Well,
Marco,
yeah.
hello, I can hear you now. So an eventful day for you.
Yeah, hot and cold, high fever. What a great race. It's really good. I really enjoy the league. I mean, it's everything. Slow drivers, super fast drivers. Fun. I like the chaos.
So I'll let you have a chat with your teammate back in the pits about not letting him past on the safety car on the first one when he was trying to get past. It was quite interesting to watch from where we sat. But congrats on that P2. We noticed towards the end you were definitely closing that gap on Alan, but just didn't have enough time to get there. Was that? I assume that was feeling pretty good from where you were sitting. You had a good pace in that one.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, surprisingly good. I honestly didn't do anything, no practice at all. I haven't been in the car for a week. Yeah, great. It's looking like a great season. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, no,
Daniel was disappointing. I thought Daniel was going to be much faster.
Yeah, I think I'll give him time. I think it's interesting. I think you're right that you weren't the only one that just jumped in without practice and had a good result. So yeah, maybe that might be the way to work for some people. Maybe not. I think it's going to be hot this season. I think we're definitely going to see some fun at the pointy end. So congrats on the results in the first one, and best of luck in the next one.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, Marco. See you next week.
Have a good one. Cheers. See ya.
And surprise, surprise, once again, we're talking to Alan Kwan in the commentary booth at the end of an F3 race. You had a bit on today.
I did no practice all week because I was trying to let my wrist rest. And I've also got my force feedback turned down to half of its usual. So no experience with cold tires, no experience with the steering wheel as it is. And then I just wrecked half the field in race one, which led to the front row start in the feature race, which was not the strat, but it did play to my advantage.
Yeah, it's the dice do roll, and they roll in favour. So we noticed towards the end, Marco was definitely closing you down. Were you just looking after the tyres and just controlling the pace at that point, or had the pace definitely fallen away?
He's definitely the faster driver. I was in Discord chat and a bit lack of focus in certain corners, so I lost a few tenths that way.
Alan, we need to talk. No, I'm just kidding. Look, great result coming back. Go let that rest heal. It's good to see you back, and a great way to open the season. But I don't think it's going to be smooth, easy sailing this season. I think you're going to have your work cut out to you to try and, if you want to hold on to that number one again.
Oh yeah, it's going to be great fun. I'll try to keep it on track. Thanks, guys.
All right, Alan, appreciate it. Good to see you again.
Thanks, bro.
Oh, cutting me off mid-sentence. My bad. That's it, John. You can take us home.
Sorry, I was just catching up with what Salty was saying. Marcus, Alan saying it was not his strat to kill half the field so he could start a P2 on the feature race. But I think
penalties will be being applied for these two races. I think there'll definitely be some points given out.
Yeah, but first race, great field, 23 drivers in total, which was nice to see. We had some great passing. We did have some, unfortunately, the uglier side of sim racing, with some people coming together. But it's racing in the end of the day. People do come together. But we are hoping that the levels continue to improve as and stabilise like they have done in other seasons. We could have a quick look at the points, possibly. I don't know if I've done it correctly. There we go. Alan Kwan is sitting in his usual position of P1 with Kevin Mueller in P2 with 20 points and Lindenau in P3 with 19 points, which I think Lindenau now has like 18 points more than last season as well. So Lindenau's doing great as well. But we will be back next week. We are coming live from Canadian Motorsport, which is actually quite an interesting track in single-seaters, I think. Plenty of room for single-seaters rather than... I don't think GT3s get on as well for racing there.
I used to hate Mosport in the Skippy. I absolutely hate it, but I don't mind it now. It's definitely high speed, definitely got some flowing. So I'm not sure how much passing we'll see. But I'm not going to expect these drivers to not put on a good show.
Yeah, so we will, like I said, we'll be back next week. Hope to see you all here as well, and we are going to say good night. So thank you for joining us.
Good night.
And we will say adieu.